Alright, let's try this a third time, everyone. What's up, YouTube? We're playing Herstory today. We're making Herstory. If you're wondering why I'm wearing these glasses, follow me on Twitch. I'm not going to tell you why. That's a mystery. This game's a mystery. You know what else is a mystery to me? Fucking OBS. Alright? But that's a different story that I don't think I need to get into, okay? Anybody who streams knows the trials and tribulations. A ball just showed up on the screen, and you just saw my background. All right. We're just going to start. Wish me luck. Okay. Hey, YouTube. Tori. I only know this game is about listening, which I'm very good at. If it was about reading chat, it would be a problem. Okay, do I want to search murder? Okay, I'm searching murder. Okay, there are 4 videos I can look at. Only 232 megabytes of local storage used. Okay. Someone's on top of their storage management. Also, when they're talking, let me know. Well, when she's talking, let me know if there is any... I need to do any audio adjustments for that. But otherwise. User tags blank. Let's just play it.
You think it's murder?
Yeah.
I mean, clearly it's murder.
It seems quiet.
What can I do to help?
Is that quiet, TL? Audio could be louder. Let's replay it. Now we're just doing audio testing.
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
How was that? I'm not really concerned by the fact that there's murder going on. At this point, poor audio quality is the real crime. All right. Okay. So there's murder afoot.
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
Simon's the one who got murdered. All right, I already think I should be taking notes. I already think it's going to be a problem. Okay. So it's Simon's... I need to take these... I gotta take these glasses off. I gotta see what I'm doing right now. I apologize. We had our wicked time. But you look so cool. Okay, her story. You're welcome, YouTube. Okay, so Simon is the one that got murdered. And the picture is back in February. What is your name, her? What if they like cooked? What if they cooked and were like, we're not actually gonna give her a name. Her name is just her. Very Spike Jones of them. Alright. We've got this now.
I didn't murder Simon.
Okay.
You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
Okay. Maybe we look up Simon after this. Oh wait, there's readme stuff. I'll listen to this and then I'll do the readme stuff.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other, just that. Stories.
Okay. Alright, let's talk about the logic database here. Computer technology is the backbone of modern police work. The logic database is one of the many continuing efforts to digitize our workflow and preserve evidence in a manner which will allow you to work more efficiently. In the coming years, the computer will continue to be the most valuable item in your crime-fighting toolkit. This database contains footage transferred from the existing homicide and serious crime tape archive at Portsmouth. It has been automatically sorted using our ASR technology. Each statement made by the interview participants is stored separately so that they can be tagged for submission to court. Audio has been digitally stenographed, and the content of the testimony is attached to each clip. To retrieve a clip, type in a word, e.g., robbery, into the search field, click search, and the database will return all clips in which the speaker uses that word. Okay. This is very immortality. Instead of image matching, it's audio matching. To narrow a search, use multiple words, e.g. robbery supermarket. If you are working from a printed transcript, you can be even more precise. Use inverted commas to search for an exact match against the entire statement. Yes, comma, I was there. Store a clip for later reference, click add to session. Also, if you wish to add additional tags of your own to help future searches, please click in the user tags box and type in your desired tags. For any further assistance, please contact your department's information technology representative, Police Information Technology Organization. Really read me. Here's the database. I filed a Freedom of Information form to get you guest access. Everything seems to work. They transferred the videos off the original tapes in 1999, and then the Y2K thing hit, and they got mothballed. No one has touched them since. I couldn't find the server with the detective's footage on. Possibly those tapes got damaged when the old archives were flooded in 97, but figured this would be enough. Take your time. Sam Barlow. Is there stuff in the rubbish bin? Hack info. Mirror game. One for the mums here. Classic two-player strategy game for lunchtime gaming. Cracks with class. What if we just like didn't investigate? What if we just played mirror game? I don't know how to play. Okay, well, hopefully that's not important. Okay, let me rewatch these.
Yeah, that's me. But February, and that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
I'm gonna add you to the session. And I think what we're gonna look up here is we're gonna look up February. Okay, so we've watched this one. This is the other one. 15 seconds.
Well, I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something. That's why I was speeding.
Just speeding.
And that wouldn't have been noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
Okay, let's go pretty wide with it. Let's go Simon. See how many we get. Oh, we've got a lot with Simon. And she's in a new jacket, it looks like. Okay.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass.
Okay.
Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things.
Mirror making, and there's already a game about mirrors.
Smith.
Ernst Brothers of Glass.
They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Really beautiful things.
Okay. Let's just keep going with it.
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
Okay. So went on a holiday in Rome. Ginger beard. There's something there. There's something there. Is this a targeted crime because maybe he grew his beard out and she just couldn't hack it?
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock.
Rockington
It's run by a
Arms.
nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Sam likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen.
Okay, there's Helen. Okay, Rockington Arms is run by Peter and Susan.
Nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Sam likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
Okay. And then Helen's the barmaid. I really like the ambient noise that's happening here. It's a really nice touch. "61 entries found, limited to the first 5 entries. A lot of them mention Simon. Okay. Let's listen to it one more time.
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Sam likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
Being murdered for shaving my beard. Honestly, I don't think Justine has ever seen me with a fully clean-shaven face. I don't think any of you have. Well, if Justine hasn't, then definitely none of you have. So, I'm afraid for what would be to come then.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
Is it like an arcade machine? We have to narrow this down after.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
Shayla, real. I think we should play Blueprints and then think about it for a few hours. I haven't seen myself clean shaven in like 6 years. And you know what? I think I'm good. I think the beard, Jacob, you and I think the beard is for us. Okay. We've got a few names that we can go to here. Let's go Ernst. Only the one, and we've already seen that. Okay. What if we did The Rock? There's a few different ones. Okay.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day.
Okay, so it was Friday. Friday
evening.
argument. Okay.
We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show.
Who? Let's go help Eric out.
I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock. That's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since.
Because he was at the Rock on Friday.
Still wasn't that this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
Okay, so they had an argument on the Friday. And he was at the Rock the Friday evening. Okay. How far are these apart? So this is the June 18th, and then this is June 25th, and then this is June 30th. So they bring her in a few times.
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
Okay, so she spoke to a bunch of people at the Rock.
No, no one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone summoned you from the Rock.
Plumber from the Rock. Okay, well, there's a few different directions that we could go here. Let's cover all the 3 different names that were at the Rock. So that's run by Peter and Susan, and there's Helen the barmaid. Rick, good to see ya. We're making Herstory today. So Peter and Lois run the Rock. Okay, so there's Peter, Susan. Nice, Rick. Oh yeah, I was able to get Adele earlier today actually in solos. Shout out to the Rotten Great Axe. Saved my bacon. Okay, so Susan and Peter are only mentioned in here. What if there's Helen? There's one more mentioning Helen.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about our argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
Was she jealous of Helen? See, I'm not fully understanding their relationship so far. Cause like it seems like they might be together, her and Simon, but I don't know specifically. Steven, good to see you. Hope we're doing good. Steven, we've only been playing for like 15, 20 minutes. Maybe not even, but we're just getting into it right now. So far, I know that Simon got murdered. Simon is a mirror maker at Ernst Brothers Glass. She brought them a picture from their Rome holiday. Their regular pub or like drinking spot is called The Rock, which is run by Peter and Lois. There's Helen the barmaid, apparently that he spoke to her on Friday. Her and Simon had an argument on Friday, then he left and never came home. All right, let's look up Eric. So how many mentions? Okay, there's a few mentions of Eric here. There's 14 entries found, but we're limited to the first 5.
He was wearing a shirt.
Okay.
It's a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans.
Was he also... Important question here. Was he also wearing a chain?
Jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric.
Eric is his boss, okay.
He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. Taking that with him.
Whoa! It's all coming together.
Like Paddington Bear.
A long Paddington duffel coat. Okay.
A long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
Okay, so Simon is Paddington Bear. I think we won the game. We solved it. He just needs to go back to Darkest Peru. Someone sauntered him into an alleyway with a marmalade sandwich and murdered him. Wait, is it actually Peter and Lois, or does he just keep saying that? I just keep saying that. Just because I thought it would be funny.
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier.
Okay, they drive a
And the
Cavalier.
van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van.
Wait a second.
If you want to get back.
There's a van. Okay, there's a car that we share. It's a Cavalier. Van uses for work. It's owned by Eric.
It's owned by Eric, but...
Okay, they have a Cavalier. They share it.
Both of them are there now, parked in the street.
Then there's a van.
I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look if you want to get back.
That's owned by Eric. Okay.
Yes, that would be in his wallet.
Wallet.
It's a Visa.
Wallet mentioned.
Silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
So Visa, it's a silver one. Okay. He's got them Avion points.
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Eric and Diane, okay. Promise I didn't know he was your man. I would have noticed a gold wedding band, Diane. Okay. Let's go Diane and see what we can get. I'm just going based on names here. There's a few mentions of Diane here. Also, the fit? Why does she have an acoustic guitar? They're like, hey, we don't actually want you to interrogate. We want you to play the A-Team by Ed Sheeran. Even though this is 1994 and that song won't come out for like at least another 18 years.
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the Glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
So she used to work there. Interesting. I didn't know that. The fit here, I can't get over it.
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
She was in Glasgow at the time of the murder. What is the time? Okay, so this is July 1st when this video played.
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
And she was speeding. So when was she supposed to be in Glasgow? Let's watch the rest of these.
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come in for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Seedfax.
What's wrong with that?
And I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
It's got an achievement. Have you ever eaten fennel? I'm just going to look up MasterChef and see how many times that gets mentioned. All right. What's this?
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
All right, we're gonna go the Glasgow route here. Are there things that we could look up? We could look up watch. How many times is the watch? There's 5 mentions of the watch. Okay, so this is in
I
June
guess you
still.
could call it that, but we were both happy to get married.
Okay, so Simon and okay, Simon and her are married, but she was like also being like she was also thinking that Simon had eyes for Helen. Interesting.
Both happy to get married.
Okay.
It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's what matters, right?
It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. Okay, so they are a married couple. So that comment about Helen was little with some there's some animosity peppered in there.
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of
Who is Eve? Run that back.
Yes. We'd fight.
Is that like her
We fought on the beach
sister?
once and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach and I held her head under and I kept it out. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
That little run that back. Run that back. We're gonna put Eve on that one.
Yes.
Yeah, filed under things you maybe don't admit in a confession.
We fought on the beach once and I held Eve's head.
It's just the way she's looking down.
And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her.
Okay. Let's come back to this.
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently.
This is in July.
The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other.
The baby?
Almost
Look up the baby.
silently.
Siri, can you look up the baby for me?
Almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up.
Jarvis,
We bagged
Jarvis,
the
look up
baby
pictures of
up,
babies for
her
me.
Clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
It happened very quickly. We hardly talked to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror. Her clothes, they're gone. Her clothes. So it's a woman's body. Never mind. We booked her clothes. Oh no, wait. So Eve, okay. Here's the vibes that I'm getting. Eve is the one that did it, and then she's helping cover. So we took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch. the baby. Anything else that we can look at here? Okay, so there's Eve the baby. What is with the broken mirror? Let me look up broken mirror. How many, okay, we've only got the one. Alibi. Only mentioned here, Eve. 7 entries, okay. Limited to the first 5.
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid.
Okay.
She was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
Like, the vibe that I'm getting is, yeah, Eve was the one that killed Simon, and then she was helping her cover.
A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him.
Interesting.
The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
This is an interesting relationship they have. What else do we got here? Her name's Hannah.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Am I being Morse coded right now?
What are you doing talking about Eve?
1, 2, 3. Does anybody know Morse code in chat? Let me know. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3. 1. You do? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. So I think Eve did it. I'm gonna put tabs on this. I'm also gonna add it to the session. Because that seems weird and important. The fuck?
My mother called me Eve.
Is this like a two sides type thing? Oh, is it the same person? Is Hannah and Eve the same fucking person, man? So it's like she did it, but she didn't. It's like it wasn't me. It was the other side of my brain. What the? Okay, let's look up mother.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
Okay.
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. But she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind. But she kills him with her tears, so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
Okay, so we saw Rapunzel's story.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby.
So she had the baby when she was younger?
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name. His nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical.
Sarah mentioned Ava. Why don't you want to have a... Because there's Ava and Eve are both symmetrical names. And then she split the apple down symmetrical lines. She finds it kind of scary. And I think Hannah, too, is also symmetrical. Oh, boy. Maybe she just wants to drive to the airport.
But I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Sarah, Ava, Hannah. We've already watched this one. Mother.
My mother called me Eve. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real life fairy tale.
Dude, she's kind of scaring me in this one specifically. And like the mentions of like fairy tales. If I search again. Okay, let's query history. Okay. What else can we look up here? Let's look up Glasgow. There's a few mentions here. Also, she put her hair back. Is she like acting as different people when she has her hair back and then when she has her hair down? Let me just like look at the mannerisms.
I got in the car and I drove.
To the airport.
I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. Just had to sleep.
Okay. Okay, and also there's constant themes because there's like mirroring, right? If we're talking about he like works in a mirror shop, names are symmetrical. She's Hannah, but is she also Eve? Brother.
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back. I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired.
So this is at 8:57. And then this is at 9:04.
I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back.
Interesting.
No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
What are they asking here?
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, it must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
There's 10 entries about Glasgow.
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
So there's a scratch on the car, but also, like, let me look at these videos again. She's talking about...
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back.
But then you say, like, a minute later that you got into a car accident.
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant,
All right, scratch.
he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out.
Hospital.
It was fine.
I'm gonna look up car accident.
The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
There's also speeding I could look up. There's a lot of car-related things, so let's look up speeding.
You must be desperate for leads if you're getting hung up over 6-month-old speeding tickets.
Tickets. Let me look up.
He has a wallet, a huge silly thing.
Wallet mentioned.
Leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. He sets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before, when he comes in, if he's in the house.
Keep on mentioning the word back pocket.
Well, I remember the ticket, of course. I paid it without telling Simon. Didn't want to get told off. And they put points on the licence.
Let's look up the word license. Okay, so there's nothing really there. They looked at there's Amstrad. Is there only the one with Amstrad? Yeah, only one with Amstrad. Let's look at MasterChef. Only the one mention of MasterChef. She says the word Hannah up here, but then, okay, now we're getting really further into it.
My name is Hannah. Hannah. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
Hannah Smith. Okay, I could have put that together. A lot of mentioning of mirrors, a lot of mentioning, there's palindromes. Eve, Ava, and Hannah are all palindromes. Works at a mirror shop. Someone knows what they're doing.
Yes. My name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Let's look at the word sorry. Look up the word lie. Actually, no. Let's watch these two, and let's look at the word lie after.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord.
They're twins?
Wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
Okay. I need to watch that again.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
That's wild, dude. She's been lying to us the whole time?
She recognized me from the window. She
Who?
told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. It was a dollhouse.
Potato, welcome in.
She hid me up there.
Who's she?
No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
Stop it. Stop showing these things to me. Attic. Okay, there's a few more here.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon.
Okay, so they lived in that
Felt like
house.
going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
What did they argue? Okay, I'm like, what were they arguing about on that Friday?
Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, and still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle.
Talk
We
about
used to go
fairy
out there and make
tales.
up our own stories. Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from
Hairs.
there?
Okay, there's a mention of hairs. A little targeted, but fine.
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from.
Dollhouse.
I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
I'm gonna have to look at the word kill.
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair?
Simon was having an affair? Game's freaking out. I know too much, apparently. Everything is freaking out. Close it. Well, we're gonna have to redo all of that. Why did it crash, dude? I'm guessing it doesn't save everything, right? I think it autosaves? I will see. Continue, okay. Thank God. Apparently I knew a little too much. Alright. So I just noticed the tattoo on her left arm. This game can run Elden Ring Night. This freaking computer can run Night Rain, but it can't run Herstory, apparently.
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you.
Hi, Talia.
Get a load of that dog. Get a load
I
of
didn't
that
kill
dog.
her. I wasn't
Look at
even
that
there.
dog. Get a
I was
load
in
of that
Glasgow,
dog.
worrying
Look
about
at
whether
that
my baby was
dog.
still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
Insert clever witty sub-message here. I just woke up from a nap.
Insane fidelity. Talia, thank you for the 32 months, dude. How are you doing? So Simon was having an affair. Which... Okay. Let's look at the arm here. So we have a tattoo on the left arm. Do we have anything else where she's wearing a t-shirt? Like...
Yes. We'd fight.
Is it there?
We fought on the beach once and I held Eve's... What did your wife do? She didn't kill you.
Because this feels like two different people. Fabs, good to see you. Because, like, I'm looking at this right here, and then I'm looking at here. It doesn't. Is it like creeping out, or is that just the T-shirt, or is that like just like the little wrinkle of the shirt? I don't know.
I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him?
I'm gonna look up the word hair. Okay, she's gonna play A team over here.
What kind of hairs?
One more time.
What kind of hairs?
I'm gonna look at the arm one more time.
What kind of hairs?
I just don't see it. All right. Fabs, how the heck are you today? All right, what do we got here?
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay? Probably needs tuning. No.
Starts finger picking.
Quite a traditional ballad. Should be right up your street.
2 days gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. In all the roads you had to walk a winding. Sorry, I was listening to any of this. It's incredibly pertinent to the story. Because they're sisters, they're twin sisters. Was Simon having an affair with Eve? Because that's what this is saying. They both had love for the captain's son. Oh, okay. Did Eve dye her hair blonde? And that's why she's like, oh, he's got a thing for blondes. This seems like an oddly specific song. Yeah. Then it gets really weird. Thanks. TLDR of the game so far. There's this dude named Simon who got killed. We're watching like old videotapes from like the interrogation of the wife Hannah, and we're essentially just trying to figure out what happened. We figured out that apparently Hannah and Simon had an argument on Friday, and then he never came home. She also has a twin sister that we discovered. His name is Eve. Both have palindrome names, which is wild. She was pregnant. Hannah was pregnant with a baby. Apparently, Simon was having an affair, but we don't know with who yet. Yeah, it's wild so far. Things that we can look up. We haven't looked up Sarah yet. Sarah only gets mentioned here. Ava only gets mentioned here. Give me Florence. Okay, now we're getting deep into it.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
Oh boy. We'll watch this other video too for people who missed it earlier.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence.
So Florence
When
took
Hannah was
Eve.
born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary.
We could look up diary.
Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
Maybe we could look up diary, but let's keep going.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight.
Oh wow.
It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road.
That's fucking wild.
I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror.
Oh my god. Dude.
She was me.
Stop it. That's nuts, dude. You lived across the street, but just never left? This game loves mirrors, dude.
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Herstory was in there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
This is wild, dude.
No. It was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
Real. Okay. Other thing, can we look up like diary? There's a few things. Okay, we're getting deep into these like late interrogation videos.
No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. Helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, it just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page.
Interesting. Yeah, like I get the feeling that one of them killed Simon. I just don't know which one.
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs.
Oh.
It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
Oh, is that when she walked over? So she walked over, and that's when they saw her in the window, and they like put her in the attic. What the fuck?
It just became our way of life. We would swap places and take it in turns to do things, and we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation. It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. And we would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them.
What did I do? Caught. I don't want to keep looking. Twins? Alright, let's watch these. This is new.
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
Yeah. Absolutely, brother.
Are you out of your mind?
No.
Twins?
Yeah. Twins, Basil.
There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
I'm gonna look up a fair. Okay, so these are early ones.
An affair? Simon wasn't having an affair. You're reaching here. And I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon's dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing?
Then we look back to this one.
And what did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
Do we ever hear the interrogator speak? As far as I know, no. I'm looking at this and I'm like, which one was the pregnant one? You know? Like, here's my theory. Hannah killed Simon. Simon was having an affair on Hannah with Eve, but maybe he didn't necessarily know that. And then Hannah, knowing that Eve was pregnant, killed Simon. And they tried to cover for each other. The baby. Let me look up Dollhouse. This one's new.
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all.
I don't know, Hamster.
Simon never went up there.
I'm thinking Eve is the one with the tattoo. Let me look up the word tattoo. Okay. He's like, yeah, I got this sick ink last week.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time
I'm
ago.
gonna look up the word glass and cut.
It looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off with the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not books so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
Same.
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
I think we know which one has the tattoo. Oh, my name's Eve. What tattoo can I get? Eve has a tattoo. Oh, my tattoo. Imagine doing an interrogation and it's different people coming in each time.
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any moods. I don't exist.
She's kind of cool. even though she's an alleged murderer. This is a minute long, okay?
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing then.
No fucking way.
Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
I'm gonna look up the word dream. And it's just gonna show me videos of Dream, the YouTuber. Dream face reveal. Oh no! Imagine.
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
Just a regular looking guy, but the angle he chose is so weird. We talked about the dream angle many times on stream, and he like was doing it too like this. So it's the dream angle because he was trying to be like, look at my jaw. I don't have a beard, but look at my jaw. Hey YouTube, this is what I look like. Exactly. Where do we go from here? Can we look at the word waking? Can we go up the word singing?
Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week.
Oh boy.
He offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten.
Yeah, did you see what I did up on
so I got
stage? I
chips
just
and
ate.
on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him.
Simon.
Romantic.
We're gonna look up the word kiss. Fuck, man, we're getting deep in.
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl in our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back.
Another who the fuck is Carl?
His turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him.
Dude.
I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
So she knew Simon before all of this, but Simon didn't know her. He just thought it was the one girl. And so they were dating, and they would go in and out, swap. But then Hannah was like, no, I actually like him, slept with him, and then that's when everything started to fall apart. Holy.
Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me, and the Simon
He
with
was
her.
mirroring too. Maybe they should all go to
It
prison.
was almost like it was a different Simon. But after the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me.
This is fucking nuts.
I almost burst out laughing.
What? Dude! Let's try different. Okay, let's watch the early one, then we're gonna get to later ones.
I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do, to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I know it was stupid not to tell you everything. Saying I spent the night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. Now he's... Difference is, she's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything.
So the one who drove up to... Okay, what if... Okay. My brain hurts right now. She's talking about crashing the car, so the girl in Glasgow was definitely Eve. What if this has been freaking... Oh my god. Like, have we been talking to two different ones this whole time? Did they switch in the middle of it? Has this been Eve the whole time?
You crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such
I'll look up
a
piss
crush.
next.
I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at.
Run that back. Carl.
That
Okay, we're gonna look up
Carl.
Carl next.
Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
Bruh.
Can you imagine? I tried. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? I felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
Stop it! Let's try separate. Let's try Carl. Only 5 entries about Carl.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl.
Oh, okay.
He was a local boy in a band.
This definitely Eve.
He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15. No, I was 15. Carl was older.
Notice how she said
17.
we?
I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. Stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months.
Notice how she says us?
We split
So, like, this is the stuff probably early on that's probably, like, trying to hint, being like, wait a minute.
tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad. But those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
This is like, hey, I see you, buddy. This is a lot of people's nightmares, having to make eye contact with the cashier.
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
Okay. Let me look this one up. I'm gonna watch this one again and see if I can get deeper.
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share.
There's Carl, rules, first to sleep with him is when she got pregnant from that one time. Let's try pregnant. Okay, these are early ones. Let's try swap. This one is 11:38. This one is 11:46. Let's try piss. Oh, there is one that says piss.
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite.
Parents
if they
never
heard
noticed.
us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear and she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later...
How did she get
Hannah,
haircuts? Would she
so
just
ready.
like go out and be like,
Mum was amazed.
okay, so piss is a thing. Scar. I've already looked up that one. Glasses. Okay, those are pretty late. What if we did the word guilty?
At the time they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I didn't. Okay, she's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity.
My God.
Did they catch her there? I don't know.
What if we did caught? What if we did... How late is this one? This is 11:56.
After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house.
Okay.
To our parents' house.
Aaron's house.
To their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
Let's try his wife. Let's try... Oh, I'm trying to get down towards the edge. Let's try the end. Let's try... Hannah didn't. Hannah and Eve. Fuck. Go back to my notes here. Let's try Hannah affair. Let's try cheating. Let's try cheated. There's a few here.
It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford.
What? Oxford, there's also Rome.
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can. Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday. No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon.
Interesting. Murdered Hannah. Alive. A lurver. Try the Oxford stuff. Spethy! Spethy, good to see you.
What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar.
Oh boy.
There was a conference.
Conference in
Something to do with
Oxford.
double glazing.
Double glazing? The glaze is crazy. Glazing. Conference. Rome. Getaway. Alibi. So this is at 12:04.
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered.
The baby.
We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror.
Let's look up
her
the body
clothes.
next.
They're gone.
Okay, the
Took
body,
him
the
to
body, and the
We
baby.
knew we had an alibi. And we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us so we could then disprove it rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch.
The Joker.
That was my touch. To make sure the alibi stuck.
Let's look up the word, the body. The baby. A lot of them. The body. Broken mirror. Accident. Okay, so there's like stuff I'm missing in between here. Because if I look up the one that says the body. Okay, let's rewatch this one.
It happened very quickly.
It happened very quickly.
We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone.
Let's try blood. Because clearly there's probably like blood. Okay, we got some. We got somewhere.
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut.
Fuck, okay.
There was a lot of blood. He was dead.
Alright. Yeah, okay, it's fine.
She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day.
Is it the
And
blonde
she had
wig?
blood on her.
Was it the blonde wig?
She was in shock.
When will Eve wear wigs? Fuck, we're getting somewhere.
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig.
Wait, go back again?
Yeah.
Can I ask you why you're not watching all of them? Because I feel like I'm towards the end of the overall like conversation. I will go back, but like at this point, like I'm very interested about the ending.
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, in parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us.
Okay, as far as I know, Shayla, it's Hannah was the one that first got pregnant with Simon, and then Eve was also trying to have a baby but couldn't.
Betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD.
But then later, maybe Eve also had a
When we
baby.
met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
I'll start watching more of them.
This
I
other
apologize if
person
I'm not
doesn't-
watching all of them.
This other person doesn't exist.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
See, the only reason why I'm not watching all of them is because, like, it feels like there's things that are referenced here that are then explained in later interrogations. So I'm just like, oh, this is stuff I already know.
No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig? A wig? You mean... what type of wig?
She seemed kind of bothered by that. Will I wear wigs?
This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry. The kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing and she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
Let me look up the body again. This is the rest of the song?
Really? Okay. Here's the rest.
All right, we asked for it.
The body of a doctor, oh, the wind and the rain, till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde
Hi, Brooke.
hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bows. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce her heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
All right, what do we got here?
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
Oh. Interesting.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body.
Talk about the bruise.
Bruise? Oh, yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen, and the chair slipped, and I kind of hit the door with my face. It hurt like hell.
A bruise. Okay, wait.
Bruise? Oh, yeah,
So
no,
this
it's
is
nothing.
this is
I was going through the
Hannah.
top cupboard in my kitchen, and the chair slipped, and I kind of hit the door with...
That's Hannah right there. And then this is Eve, because look, she like grabs the wrong side of her face.
the bruise.
Grabs the wrong
I
side
have
of
a
her
really fast
face.
metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen.
It's like looking in a mirror.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull our harness to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies were synchronised anyway. We started our period on the same day, all our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
Okay, where were we before? Because we were talking about the body.
This was 9,
About 9.
I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued.
Hit her back, left a bruise, had my wig on from performing. Eventually we grew tired of fighting and left. And then, okay, so that's at 11:59. When if we look up fight, is there anything else? Then there's blood.
Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your records? Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. Blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. Only worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said.
Maybe I should look up like nursery.
But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So,
Let me look up nursery because I get the feeling that maybe Hannah and Simon lost their baby. I get the vibe from that.
No. I lost the baby.
Yeah, okay.
I had a miscarriage at 8 months.
Oh, that's awful.
We carried on living at Simon's parents until that was only a few months after.
That's so terrible. And I think, okay, here's the vibe that I get. Simon and Hannah initially got pregnant. She lost the baby. And then Eve got pregnant with Simon's kid. And I think that might have led them to, that might have kind of sent Hannah over the edge and caused her to kill Simon.
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's.
Who were they?
In spring, and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
The parents died together?
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children.
That's you.
Easy, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
That's you, brother. Okay, let me look up Simon Hannah killed. Hide. New.
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave
The
her
fact that she
house
calls her reflection
and
is
go on
nuts.
adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
And I'd do it again. Nothing, okay. Who is Eleanor? Oh boy. Whoa, this is a new day.
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
Well, we get an achievement for that.
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep. though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
As much as I do want to watch these, I also want to see Coffee. How's it going down there? You done? Shit. How do I text back? I can't message back. Okay, I can. Oh, it's either yes or no. No. Okay, I'll hang on a little bit longer. Buzz when you're ready. Spill. Wait, do I need to... Okay, how do I get this... Is getting this done finding all of the database?
A black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is.
Haha.
About 8 years back.
Is that how you finish the
It was a present
game?
to myself.
You stopped at about 50%? Okay.
I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup.
Is this Dunkaroos? Yes, this is a Dunkaroos.
No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water. Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
About 8 years back. It was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup.
You decide when you're done, but that chalkbox opens when you reach enough videos watched. I don't know what the numbers is.
A black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is.
So that's one of them, and then this is a different one?
Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
Very interesting. Similar immortality in that way? Okay. Let me look at the database. So I have the very last... Does this mean I have the very last video, or there's 1 volume missing, it says? I'm pregnant.
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
Hello. What the frick, dude? Okay, so this one is on July 3rd. Let's look up fuck.
No, I'm okay.
That is Justine, yeah.
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you. Are you arresting me? No. Fuck off. Open this door. Yeah. They've gone to bed feeling ill. thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Let's just look up swear words at this point. Fuck. What about shit?
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry. Hannah was so smitten with Simon.
Me when I lie. Let's look up dead. There's a lot there. Okay, let's look up lying. What other words can I look up? Let's do sex. You can look up the word sex. There's a lot of sex here.
Really? You're going to ask me about my sex life? I mean, isn't that private?
I mean, I agree.
Are
But
you married?
I gotta do my research.
How is your sex life? So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage.
10 years of marriage. That's wild.
No! You're talking to the wrong person if you think I'm some kind of slut. If you think I'm the kind of person that would have had sex with all those guys.
So they're like chasing down leads. They're like, oh, did you do this? But it was actually Eve doing it the whole time. Let's look up I'm Eve. Or my name is Eve. What was look a plan? I was at 46. This one's at 48.
No.
Is yellow the one I
There
just
decided
watched?
there would be a wedding. After the wedding, Hannah moved in with
That was the plan. Okay, I'm gonna look up blood again and see what I just watched.
She was sat behind him.
jumpsuit. Okay, so there's the part where she talks about, like, broke. Let's try broke. No. Let's try kill. You are low-key under arrest. Got that shit on. What would it be? What would the words I need to use be? Let's try Hannah and Eve. Let's try scared. Fuck. Oh, hey, so that time she's tapping on the table? Yes, human. She's tapping out bad Hannah? That's awesome. I'm glad I noticed that. So this one?
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Let me try tapping.
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code.
Ah!
In the book, the knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor.
I'm not looking.
You're killing me. You're breaking my heart.
Do not look at this message, it's a secret.
Brooke, thank you for the 41 months at tier 2, dude.
We couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
What the hell? 41? That's like 42, but that's like a few decades, I think, at least. Appreciate the hell out of you, dude. Okay, so there's tapping. Is there message? Is there code? Is there... story? What if I look up Herstory? What about her story? No fucking way.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me.
Oh, man.
Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present.
Yikes.
She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
God. So scare would have been one of the words. Big. I want to hear the entire end part. So that is like right here. And then mirror is everywhere. Piece of glass. Murder weapon. And we would have got away with it too.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
Herstory. And is that the end? Yeah. Lawyer.
Yes, I understand my rights. No, I don't need a lawyer.
Oh boy.
Yes, no lawyer. What are you going to arrest me for?
Dude, this end part is so fucking long.
This is a nicer room. This is where you take people when it's time to arrest them. Can you arrest someone who doesn't exist?
Real. Exist. She kind of ate with that, yeah. Who are you? Who am I? What's up?
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold.
Haven't we heard this?
I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang.
Wait, that's a different story. Because she laid down, she took a nap. They double question on separate days.
It was
Got
pretty
it.
clear he wasn't there.
Cool.
Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
So I jumped pretty far forward then. Interesting. Really interesting. Yeah, there's a few word changes there. And I think like part of the story is different. Dude, that end part is so unbelievably long. Let's try it again. Let's try questioned. Simon didn't. There's a lot of entries here. Yeah, I don't... I kind of just want to like keep going to try and get like the whole end part. There's like a lot of stuff early that I'm missing, but I got so much at the ending. Let's try covered. Simon's baby. I wish I could like continue to scroll further, you know? Okay.
Then she told me she wanted to help more. She said I should move in with her. She would come clean with Simon about me. I was family. I couldn't have a baby in a bedsit. I told her I didn't want to tell Simon. Told her to wait for the time being.
Simon didn't know. All right, now we're getting places.
When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister who didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
Simon was angry. This is wild, dude. So the overarching story is that Simon was cheating on... Well, Hannah and Eve were sisters. Eve was separated at a young age. Once Florence died, her like midwife mom, after 8 years, she walked across the street. Rimbley, there is some shit and some stuff happening. Also, Rimbley, hi, it's good to see you. Walked across the street, then they did like doppelganger stuff forever. They did doppelganger stuff for like ever.
The doppelganger.
Rimbley! 6 months in advance?
You're breaking my heart.
Brother, thank you so much. Rimbley, thank you for the tier 2 for 6 months in advance, dude. Thank you for 22 months in total. Appreciate the hell out of you. Rimbley, it's wild. So the story I have so far. They were born as twins. Hannah lived with the family. Eve lived with the midwife across the street. Midwife dies. Eve walks across the street. They hide her in the attic, and then they do like body swap doppelganger shit forever. Well, not forever, for like 9-ish years. Nobody knows. Then Hannah falls in love with Simon, gets pregnant, and then they fracture, then they separate. Hannah loses the baby, then they're married for 10 years, and then Simon sees Eve performing in a wig. Cheats on Hannah with Eve, gets Eve pregnant. Then Eve comes back into their life, lets Hannah know about it. Simon's like, whoa, what the hell? And then eventually Hannah puts on Eve's wig. And then puts on Eve's wig. Simon thinks it's Eve. And he's like, oh, I want to be with you. Hannah gets super jealous, kills Simon accidentally, and then they both try and hide the body and get away with the murder. I think that's the gist of it. What the fuck, Simon? Okay. Let's try some words here. Sex with Simon. Let's try I love you. Let's try Simon said. Simon did. Simon says. No. Simon wouldn't. Someone do that.
Simon was very moral about that sort of thing. He wouldn't just walk out there and sleep with anyone. He wasn't that kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sleep with someone who looks exactly like my wife. Why are you talking about marriage as if you're, like, external to the marriage? Simon's dead. We agreed. There's so much here, dude. Get away with. Get away. There's a lot here.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
So I got 50% of the database now.
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car.
The van. Was Helen even real? Was heaven even real? Heaven. Was hell... That's a bigger question than we can unpack later. Was Helen even real, or was that, like, Hannah's moniker for Eve? You know? What about Mallory? What about Tyler? Because Helen's only mentioned a couple times. He's like, oh, we love blondes. Is it spoiler to answer the heaven question? No, go ahead. Has anybody in chat died and came back? What's that like? Let's try pretend. It's cool.
It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. I didn't share him like the others. Not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. I didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird in a way it hadn't been before.
I think it was always kind of weird, Eve. If we're keeping it a stack right now.
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic.
What kind of soup is that? Wait, what? Streamer can't enjoy because he hasn't decalcified his third eye. Triple poutine? Something about her in churches. Well, she had said that, like, she had sex in a church, but that doesn't mean that her and Simon had sex in a church. Joich. Boyd. Try bird. Oh! There's actually the word bird works. Yeah, it was her and Carl.
We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. We used to write each other.
Anything about the story? Oh, that's all good.
Bell,
Okay.
And we could send them to each other.
We did search Carl.
Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things.
Epic.
So
Do we search
she didn't
beans?
quite understand
I could look it up. No. British. Canada. Vacation. Now I'm just looking shit up. We search birthday. Oh, there's a lot of birthday stuff.
Yes, that's my birthday.
This is a really interesting
All the
game.
big ones, but I guess you can see that.
Well, that's my wife in a wig. He just went on like this entirely different woman, girl, natural selection. Here's the thing. It is I'm suspending my disbelief here because there's a lot of like dream-like shit going on in this. Like, yeah, Simon doesn't wear his glasses when he's out to cheat. Yeah, he just does it to read menus. Stupid men.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have
If
a meal
you
at home.
want
We had our meal.
a mind fuck of a game more than this, play Immortality.
Like the present. No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
But okay, here's the thing. It's like Immortality is just pure cinema. If I hadn't already played it, I would play it on stream. But I did play it on stream like a really long time ago. Early days.
Well, a week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday.
Okay, but here's the thing. Are they talking about... Because the way that it seemed is that, like, Simon didn't actually know about the... Actually, never mind. They're just making up shit now. Because they were clearly lying about telling him about the pregnancy. You know? That was clearly all a lie. Because then you hear the story at the end where... No, wait, I'm confused now. I'm a little confused. Dog, what's up? Dog, this game's wild. Because, like, did she tell him about the pregnancy and, like, that was part of the argument? Or was it the whole fact that he was finding out about the whole oh, this is actually my twin, but we didn't know. Now we know. Now she's back, but she wasn't in the picture before. Bing, bom, boom. You actually knew her and, like, to kind of sort of went on dates with her when you were young. But then you had sex with me, so then it was like, okay, no, now you're mine. So then she fucked off to the attic. Carl, Doug, Eleanor, Peter and Lois, Brian Griffin. Family Guy. Damn it. Lois. Peter. Play the one about Peter, okay. Quahog. Okay. Quagmire. What are other British isms? In it, Cleveland, Rome. It's only the one mention of Rome. Let's try clothes.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it. By hand.
Oh, I could do a bit alert redeem for sure.
And he brushes the silver onto the glass. That's not how they make mirrors these days. When he made the mirror, and he gave it to me. When will the police let me back in the house? And they let me take a bag of clothes with me, but
And you decided to pack the orange jumpsuit? Let's talk about this. There's so much at the end that I want to know. Lie detector. Cool.
yes, I'll take a lie detector test.
All right. This is exactly what I wanted.
I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work?
She's kind of eaten in that outfit. I'm gonna say it.
My name. That was the only question I failed.
Like she might be an accomplice to murder, but she's kind of eating the fit.
My name. That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
Yeah, that's never really been her issue. Okay, so we got the lie detector. Have I? Did I? Where was? Is this the one where she spills the coffee?
Okay. I parked up on the street.
No.
It was busy.
I'm gonna look up the lie detector one again.
I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work?
Okay, so this one is right here. Hannah Smith.
Yes. My name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
And then there is this whole chunk here that I don't have. Let's try Eve Smith. My name is Eve. Yes. Yes, I am. No. No, I did. No, there. No, I was. Yes. I didn't. I did not. Yes and no with quotations. Oh. Oh, thank you. Super helpful.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know what the actual answers are.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna do it open-ended. One if yes.
No.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, dog.
No.
Can we do a bit alert that's just no, yes, no, 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 yes, no, no.
No.
Oh, man.
No.
No. Well, we got all these. Can we do a bit alert? I don't know. You're the streamer, dude. That's true. That is so true, dude. Fucking got me there. Who got me worse? Jacob with can we do a bit alert? Or haters gonna hate with calling me a cringe nerd? Am I? Am I done? My name is. So we got like a lot of this section now when it's just yes. Yes. No. 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 Still in 10 minutes. Can we play this game? You know I always have to run it by Beans, even though I've been playing Night Rain for the past 3 weeks. Yeah, I don't know what else I can get out of this. Should we just play mirror game? So boom. Do I get anything for this? So I have to try and make it all on one side, eh? So that changes that one. Make that red. That purple. Then you make that red. Then you make that purple. Oh. I have to try and make it like half and half, I'm guessing. Make all you purple, make all you red, make all you purple, make all you red, make all you red. Shit, I fucked that one up. What if I tried that again? I want to restart. I want to restart. Not all games have winners and losers. I did 32 and 32. Nice. Game. Basement. Bag.
The whole thing was wrong. The bags,
No.
I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need.
We don't need Simon. We have each other.
Dad used to grow mushrooms there.
Sil.
The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
Sil, brother. We've got a game on our hands. So it's good to see ya. What if we looked up bag? What if we looked up bagged? What if we look up tape? Sil, do you want the TLDR of this game? I could try and explain this game. Yeah, hit me. Okay. So we start off finding out that Simon, this guy named Simon, is murdered. We're watching interrogations of his wife, Hannah. Turns out that Hannah had a twin sister named Eve from when they were young. And what happened was, when they were born, Hannah came first, and then Eve came second, and then the midwife told the mom that Hannah was dead. And then so she just went home with Hannah. That's how twins form. Okay. So, but the midwife lived across the street, and the midwife actually took care of Eve growing up. But she didn't let her leave the house, so Eve would watch Hannah from across the street and be like, yo, that's like my reflection. At 8 years old, Florence dies. Eve just walks across the street, and then Hannah hides Eve in the attic, and then for like the next 10 years, they do like a Parent Trap situation where they're like swapping out and like living the same life. And like they would swap in and out, even like with boys. But then when they were 17, Hannah met Simon. But then they were still doing the swapping thing. But then Hannah slept with Simon and got pregnant. And then they were like, oh, we can't do this anymore. 8 months later, Hannah ends up losing the baby. But then Eve is now kind of like separate, living her own life. Fast forward years later. Simon is out at the bar, sees Eve performing in a wig, and like starts getting super into her. Eventually cheats on his wife with her twin that he doesn't know is her twin, gets her pregnant, and then Eve comes back into the situation, tells Hannah about it, and then Hannah tells Simon that like, yo, this is my twin, by the way. He's all like pissed about it, I think, or like I'm not sure how he necessarily felt about it. Then Hannah puts on Eve's wig, pretends to be Eve, and Simon is like talking to Hannah, whom he thinks is Eve, being like, I want to be with you. Gifts her a mirror. There's a whole thing in this game about mirrors, reflections. He works making mirrors, yada, yada, yada. Gifts her a mirror. She gets really angry. Stuff happens. Madge resubs at 41 months.
That dog.
I'll wait until the notification is done.
Dog. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Dump Trabu.
Buh. Madge, thank you for the 41 months at tier 1. She comes home. Yeah, video says she got angry because he gave the other twin an identical mirror. Yeah, so he gave a mirror gifted a mirror to Hannah originally, and then he gifted an identical mirror to Eve, but he thought to Hannah again while she was in Eve's wig. So he thought he was giving it to Eve, which set Hannah off. They got into a fight, broken glass. She grabs a piece of glass, it just kind of swings wildly, cuts his throat, kills him. Eve walks in, sees everything that happened. They decide to hide the body and like make up a whole story to try and get out of it. And then eventually we find out that like we've been watching videos of what we thought was the same person. Turns out it's two different people. Shit's wild, dude. Yeah, the craziest am I the asshole you've ever heard. According to Eve, Hannah gets very possessive of Simon and doesn't want to swap. It's wild, dude. Anyways. What a wild game. And it's only took me like 2-3 hours. How far are we in stream? Yeah, it's like 3 hours. And like, I don't know much else. Like, what else can I... The only like other thing that we could do is we could just like go through and try and like get all like the videos, but like... Like, I think we got it all. Like, we could look up... Yes.
Yes.
And then we could look up no.
No.
Let's look up pass. Let's look up truth.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
Princess Diana doesn't die in this universe. Yeah, this is an alternate reality. We've looked up a lot of things, to say the least. This is just 1994. Doesn't die yet. Yeah, I think overall, I think I understand what happened. There's like obviously some other stuff that like I didn't watch. And I apologize for like looking at some videos and just like trying to get towards the stuff at the end, but it's just like it's the meat of it. I'm like, I want to know what happened. I understand there's backstory here, but no offense to Doug and Eleanor, but I'm not sure how important are you. This is how you play, okay. All right, I'm gonna call. Yo, hey, you done? Yup. Yes, I'm done. Good, so you think you understand why your mother did what she did? No way, dude. No fucking way, dude. Mommy? Yeah, I think I get it. I'm glad, Sarah. I'll be waiting outside. Log off and we can meet over the road. What happens if I quit? What a cool game. What a cool game, dude. FMV games are kind of sick. We're definitely going to be playing Contradiction in the future. Yeah, if y'all haven't seen Immortality, I need y'all to see that game. I am going to bother Bobby so much to play Immortality. Has Bobby played this? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna bug Bobby to play this and bug Bobby to play Immortality. This is so much his shit. It's not even funny. Not on stream, okay. I'm just gonna send a message right now. Oh, 1 second. Because it's not windowed, so it'll close when I do it. I'll send it after. Brother, play Herstory, then play Immortality yesterday. Holy. Yeah, I think this is, for what it is, this is a fantastic game. Well paced, could do it in an evening. Very much like you're putting things to... You can share what your theory was, yes. But I was catching up. I got it wrong, obviously. Sarah, if you're stuck, you could always try admin random or the unlock command. Wait, what? Oh, I thought it was a DID thing. I kind of thought it was like, yeah, there was two people in there. Okay, what? Okay, what was the command? What was the command? Did I just look unlock? It just gives me random
They have
videos?
been my parents' fingerprints. I'm not sure how long they last for, but is that possible?
So if I just do admin underscore random, it just gives me a random video? Really? Interesting. Okay. I wonder if there's a YouTube video where you can watch them all in order, probably. We've been tagging our watch clips. We could actually search blank to only get new stuff. So if we search like blank, it shows everything. Yeah, 269. Okay, nice. Interesting, okay. Good game. Good freaking game, dude. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this, because I did. Good game. Very, very good game. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's officially the start of hot puzzle summer.